Gina Virginia Casella. Why did I just do that? Gina Virginia Casella, spiritual biz entrepreneur, a multidimensional healer, hypnotherapist, shamanic practitioner, author, and conference organizer. Gina serves as a multidimensional healer, offering shamanic services and intuitive insights through her Dragon Dreams Oracle and unique gemstone readings. She's a master practitioner of energy medicine and hypnotherapy, specializing in mind reprogramming, chakra balancing, safe extraction of intrusive entities, and clearing of energetic affinities. She's the visionary behind Project 30, Isis Unity Consciousness, which is a multifaceted body of work that emerges real-life experiences and dream experiences into conferences, mini films, teachings, and community gatherings honoring the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. Within these communities, Gina is recognized for her work in mind reprogramming, energy healing, and her self-published Dragon Dreams book series, which is 8 books. It's on Amazon. She advocates for the belief that one of the most powerful forms of healing comes through sharing of stories and reconnecting with nature, understanding that our relationship with the earth mirrors the relationship with other. And, she's widely known for empowering people to recognize that Akashic records are not a fixed destiny and that each individual has the ability to rewrite and transform their story. As Gina teaches, we are master scribes of our own lives and alchemizing our experiences birthright. And you can check out her website at ginavirginiacasella.com. And I'm bringing her to the stage now. Gina, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Rob. Good to be here. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me back.
Yeah. So what's new? How's everything going?
Everything is going great. I'm just realizing my bright light is not on. There we go. See me okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'm doing phenomenal. This Saturday is our Summer Daze conference, and I'm really excited about it because we had Promise of Spring back in March, which was the first online conference I hosted, and it was a huge success. And so it really helped to set precedents. And I'm really looking forward to this Saturday. We've been working really hard behind the scenes, all of the Dragon speakers involved. And I'm noticing some of them in the chat right now, like Julia Anchorhaven's going to be speaking at my conference this Saturday. So make sure you get a ticket, witness Julia along with other medicine bearers share their story, medicine. So I know some of you on Typical Skeptic podcasts are familiar with me. Those of you who are not, I have a little video to play. It's a couple minutes long. And I know what it's like to feel alone. I know what it feels like to have ghost spirits, all kinds of interesting dreams. When I was in grade 2, 2 angels came out of my wall. It was totally not a holy experience that brought me joy, which was confusing. It actually caused me to have trauma. My vision and hearing flip-flopped, and nobody talked to me about that. And so I was actually facing the mental health stigmas when I was in grade 2. I was known as somebody who told stories. And I know there's a lot of other folks out there who are just like me. And you know what? You have a soul tribe, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. We get you. We don't even have to explain ourselves to each other. Like, to be here on Rob's show, it's very nonchalant to talk to the community about, ghost and the ET agenda, things like Bigfoot and vampires. Yet in my own community, circle of friends, and my own family, these conversations are not welcomed. And when we do have these conversations, we gloss right over it and we keep everything in a box because the mind's number one job is to protect you, even if it means lying to you and creating false inhibiting beliefs. So I do all kinds of things, gemstone readings, mind reprogramming. And in my old matrix, I was a public school teacher. So I've got 8 books published. There's a lifetime more. Those of you who've been following me, it's super exciting. The Dragon Dreams Oracle. Once I'm done with this promotion, I can pull cards for some people, but we're going to, it's official. You can purchase your own Dragon Dreams Oracle. And it's so exciting because just before coming on here live, I was actually messaging Rob. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to slap on my makeup. I'll be backstage in just a moment. Because Jason, missing Time 420, is helping me to manifest movies. Now, Jason, being the professional that he is, he felt a bit too rushed. And me, I wanted to push for mini movie medicine, just glimpses. So I'm a total amateur, right? And so is Michael Kopf. A lot of people here know who he is as well. So we tag team behind the scenes. I created my first movie all by myself called Lushing. It's freaking terrifying. I don't even watch scary movies. So what am I doing creating a scary movie, right? And it was really challenging to make it. But you know what? It brought me a lot of joy. And it's going to be showcased this Saturday. So if you don't want to get in on the presenters sharing their story medicine, just get a ticket to support me in the fact that I'm releasing my first mini movie. And Laura Ferguson, better known as Starseed Lolo, it's her music name, is allowing me to use 2 of her songs with her permission. So the first one is called Lushing, and it's going to be kind of like a slideshow type style movie, mix of video and pictures, and Laura's, I'm brain farting it out here, Dark Night of the Soul playing in the background. And then Michael and I, we just finished wrapping up a movie, which we're using The Dragon. We're using that song by Starseed Lolo. So the first one's called Lushing Tiffany. But I wonder, maybe, is it a good time to play my little intro video, Rob? Because people who are not there with me. Okay, thanks.
Should put.
Hey, Dragon Dreamers. Gina Virginia Casella here, and the one behind the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. Come dream with us. Your soul tribe awaits you. I do all kinds of things. Gemstone readings, mind reprogramming, energy medicine. At this time in my life, I've been redirected by Source to bring us together. The Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. Through an umbrella term called Project 30, Isis Unity Consciousness. You're invited. Dream with us. Through dreams half remembered and half misunderstood, we fill in the gaps for each other because we're all one. There's all kinds of times and dates lined up that I would absolutely adore for you to be a part of. And one of my favorite things to do is to assert that the Akashic records are not a permanent record because your past never defines you. And we can do what's called living consciously so we can die consciously. United are we. Be free. Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective awaits you. Dream with us. My name is Gina Virginia Casella, creator and visionary of Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness. See you in dreams.
Well, that was amazing. That was really good.
Thank you. So I lovingly invite everybody out there to dare to dream. Dream your heart out. Always bite off more than you can chew. And to always believe in yourself and to know that your past never defines you. I'm quite passionate about the Akashic records not being a permanent record, and that you really can change your story to change your life. So I do believe that we are a story species, and stories is our number one medicine. So when you share a story, you're actually sharing medicine. And when you receive a story, you're receiving medicine whether you need that medicine or not doesn't matter. You just tuck it in your back pocket like any tool that you add to your toolbox, and you might need that story. Somebody else might need that story, and you might even want to take that story and alchemize it to fit whatever case scenario. And that's the real power of our species as the Homo sapiens sapien, is our creativity, our natural drive, innovation, motivation, and the fact that we can switch. We have the power to switch how we feel. So here's where we get into duality. In a very negative way, your thoughts can rule you. But if you can take charge of your thoughts and start retraining your thoughts or nipping them when those negative thoughts happen, and even though your mind's number one job is to protect you, which also means lying to yourself and creating false inhibiting beliefs, you can actually use that to your advantage. So when you're feeling like crap and your whole world is falling apart and you're crying, well, you lie to yourself and you put a big smile on your face and you tell yourself that you're excited. Because you know what? Feeling scared and feeling excited are that same feeling. So you get to decide which one it is. And every single thought that you have, whether you mean to be thinking or not thinking, you have thoughts. And so each thought is followed by an emotional response. And every single emotional response is followed by a chemical, biological reaction in your body. So even when you're sleeping, this stuff happens. And it impacts us negatively or positively. So I learned the hard way to come from a place of indifference. And since I've last been on your show, I actually became a practitioner with Alberto Villoldo, the Four Winds. So they're known as the Harvard of energy medicine. And it's something that I did for myself. I thought energy medicine was interesting, but I actually took it because I needed to face my fears. Things about evil
like
spirits.
A certified shaman now, right? You would say you're like a certified shaman, right?
Yes, an energy medicine practitioner. They're calling it neo-shamanism because I'm not a shaman in the traditional sense where I'm out in the middle of the jungle and there's a tribe relying on me to hunt food. And neo-shamanism, this is all part of bridging the East and the West, because the prophecy of the North and the South has already been fulfilled. So, neo-shamanism is what I'm
What is
called.
the prophecy of the North and the South? What is that?
Yeah, so it's bridging like the spirit world with the physical world, Pachamama, Mother Earth. And this has been talked about for a very long time. And I don't know how long ago, but maybe like only a decade or two ago, it actually manifested. So my mentor, Alberto Villoldo, went on a journey with his mentors. They were going to be doing a special celebration ceremony bridging the North and the South. And they invited Alberto and his colleagues to join, and they made a little documentary out of it. So now it's the next part where Western medicine and Eastern medicine are bridging together, and that includes energy medicine and things like, Reiki and other modalities as well. But it's
like
really, really interesting.
So you mentioned the spirit world's merging with like the material. Or do you feel like the veil's thinning, or is it to a point where we're at a point where the two worlds have already like been merging, or do you think it's like gradually thinning, or the veil between the
you know what, I feel like all of those answers are the right answer, because I do feel like there's different layers and we're just a big onion shape, onion structure, layers amongst layers, and those layers do blend and merge together, which is why we see things like dragons and ghosts, and it's intensifying now. And there's lots of conversation about us losing our biology, but I don't feel like that's going to be happening in the next, like tomorrow, like some people are talking, and biology is very important. Our relationship with bacteria is quite sacred. And I have my own theory and beliefs that we're like, if other parts of the universe found out about us, we would be front page news. We would be the ultimate answer to their prayer. We have blood, we have bones, organs, we have juices inside of us like a woman's womb. You know, women have two different kinds of blood, regular blood and menstrual blood. You know, like not all species have this, and even the very diversity of our planet. And so going back to why I took energy medicine, this kind of stuff was bothering me because in my own world, my dreams were, you know, some of them were quite nightmarish. And just even like my own experiences, like two angels coming out of my wall, that wasn't a dream back when I was in grade 2. And I know now that those weren't angels. What were they? I don't know. Angels of a different kind, hybrid, ET, technology, a bit of everything. But having the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody like Alberto Villaldo, who takes this kind of stuff seriously, and to admit to things like intrusive entities was big time for me. And that's why story medicine is so important, because how many more years were going to go by where I thought I was losing my mind or like there was something wrong with me? You know, meanwhile, there's a whole other community out there where this is just everyday chit chat, you know? So, and just that authenticity within myself and knowing myself better and my own relationship, the sovereign being that I am, each of us a Pachamama in our own right. So I know what it's like to be made fun of and stuff like that. And I'm still made fun of. I've had people block me on Facebook. Last year, literally a year ago, I was trying to get movies made. I was trying to publish my Oracle. I wasn't very familiar with Canva, that kind of stuff. There was some positivity, but there was a lot of negativity, lots of negativity. And it was really hard. And so that's when I said to myself, I need to really rise above all of this and find out who are the other dragon dreamers, who are the other people like me. So I work with pull energy. If you're feeling the pull, if you're listening to me right now and you're like, that girl, I get her, you know, or you're like, me too, I've had interesting dreams and experiences, then it's not a coincidence that you're receiving this message today. So this Saturday, it is going down. It's $40 Canadian. It's a phenomenal cost. It's going to be online all day. We've got 6 Dragon speakers. I got my little background here for you. Summer days.
Yeah.
But maybe now would be a good time to show my little promo on Buy Me a Coffee, because it has images of the speakers.
Did you upload? Should I just add it? Is it already added?
No, the file was too big, so I can screen share.
Yeah, I'll just warn you. People have been having trouble screen sharing, but I mean,
okay.
Try it. It seemed to work for the last one, so yeah, it should be okay.
I've been having trouble screen sharing too. So okay, then do I have the power to? Okay, there it is. Just let me know if you can't see or hear me at any time, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my Buy Me a Coffee. And if you go to post, you'll see that I post in there almost every day. So there's lots of hype about the upcoming conference. There's Julia Ankerhaven. We're just chatting about her. So if you go to shop, this is where you can buy your ticket. $40 Canadian. And also right here, book 8 Scary Dreams. It'll redirect you to the Word document, which is also found on my Facebook group, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. So the book's always better than the movie, right? So read it. I'll just leave it there so you can get it anytime. But this is the real heart here. So the first conference that I hosted, Promise of Spring, was phenomenal. We had a lot of amazing feedback about the integrity of the speakers, the authenticity, the respect over the overall course of the day, the content that was presented, the delivery and demeanor, which really meant a lot to me, the overall structure of the day. because I was the timekeeper. This is a high quality item coming from my teaching career. So if somebody's supposed to present at 2 p.m., they're presenting at 2 p.m. And in anticipation of any tech issues, I made it a point to have the presenters submit a pre-recorded video to me, which I greatly appreciated. I know it was a bit of extra work for them, but you know what? If you got to practice anyways, might as well hit the record button. So this is just reiterating stories. We're a story species. Stories are our medicine. We heal with the earth. So we do things like, at the end of the day, you take a shower and you wash off the day. Well, some people, they take it a step further and they go stand in the river and they imagine the goddesses stripping away the negativity, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're the earth, each one of us, a Pachamama in our own right, walking, talking trees we are. So we heal with each other. And this is what I'm saying. We heal with our talking. It's not just nonverbal communication, but the verbal part, and nonverbal communication, like using images, paintings, interpretive dancing to share story medicine. And there's actually a prediction somewhere in my book series that somebody's going to make a ballet based on the Dragon Dreams book series. I'm super pumped up about it. The paranormal is very normal. The supernatural is very natural. And there's absolutely nothing strange about high strangeness other than the fact that we think it's strange. So I'm Gina Virginia Casella, the Dragon Visionary behind it all. Project 30, Isis Unity Consciousness. That's where I'm at. So there's 30 of us. These are the dragons we have lined up. And this is the order they're presenting in. We've got Laura Ferguson, who's also known as Starseed Lolo, providing some music. Sheila, Spiral Sister Murray, Julia Anchorhaven, Soma Ara, Slavka, the Natural Sentient, and Missy Hill. Julia is going to be double timing. She's also going to be monitoring the conference. So we've got Michael Kopp helping out and Jason as well. Just giving Laura some credit here. If you go to her website, you can purchase her music for $1 a song. You can get opportunity to listen to her releases before they're released to the public. And here's our schedule. This is the afternoon slide. There's the morning one. So I'll be live at 8:30, but we have a prompt start at 9. Yeah, I'm really looking forward, to the whole day, but opening sacred space, lighting our candles at the same time. We're going to journey to the pine tree forest. We did that last time. I remade the video. During the break video, during the breaks, I'm going to be playing some videos as well. Last time I played videos of me doing mini gemstone readings and what it meant when the gemstones fell in certain places. But this time I made little videos about the Unmaker's tools. So you get to learn a little bit about that. And these last slides just promoting my books in the Oracle. So thank you for letting me show you all of that. And you can get your ticket right now. So it's going to be a phenomenal day. And you know what? Even just preparing for the conference, the speakers, it's been really emotional for them. I require a 35-minute maximum presentation. And a lot of the speakers had a hard time with that. And a lot of speakers, they come on shows like this all the time. They even host their own shows, but they've never shared their story in a structured way, in a formal context like a conference. And so behind the scenes, it's been quite the dragon's delight for me as the administrator to take in this behind the scenes, going through the motions and tears with some of the presenters. One presenter, she just did talking and I ended up doing typing for her, and that really helped. Some of the presenters, they were kind of avoiding their own story medicine because it was triggering, and then just that encouragement, sharing it with others. So it's been a real joy. And I look forward to Jason making the mini movies that much better quality. And it's going to be great. It's going to be really great. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Just going to
tell,
see the chat here. Oh, go
tell
ahead.
us a little bit about the movie. Like, what can people expect from it? Like,
Okay, so so in general, the mini movies are supposed to be like 3 to 5 minutes long, so they're just very short, and they're supposed to serve as glimpses. So ideally, there's going to be tons and tons and endless mini movies, and people are going to get glimpses of just my dream life. Intentionally, they're going to be in mixed order because that's how my dreams and book series are all presented to me. Everything's mixed up. And so so the first movie, Lushing, the story comes from book 8, Scary Dreams, based on a real nightmare I had a couple years ago. And it's basically highlighting the part where I'm a ghosty girl playing with the children, but they don't even know about me because I'm a ghost. Uh, and all of a sudden, there's intruders, and it's Lushers. And this girl, Sophia, she's like a big sister babysitter character, jumps in front of the children to protect them. And I go to jump beside her, but I somehow jump inside of her. So one of the Lushers, he starts calling me Sophia, and I make the connection. Oh my God, I'm inside of her. And they're like hopped up on drugs, and they've been experimented on. And so in the background, the children are killed. It's like over before you even know what's going on. There's no blood and gore in the movie, by the way, but it infers this kind of stuff. And then this one Lusher, he's very fixated on me because he's confused. And even though he's going to kill me, he is adamant about killing me with honor. And he's surprised and confused that I don't know how to fight. So he starts teaching me, training me right there on the spot. So it's like time gets suspended, and I start fighting, learning how to fight. And then at some point, Sophia's body is deceased and gets mixed in with the other children. And this is where the Lushers start to eat. And so how do they eat? Well, they start touching each other, and they start merging into one body. And they don't have bones or organs. They're just made out of fat. It's like a fat cookie cutter shape that somebody animated and programmed. And there's other parts of Lushing too where we learn that like the children have blood and bones and organs, but the Lushers don't realize this. So, like I mentioned earlier, we would be front page news if they found out about our reality dimension. We would be the answer to their prayers, but they haven't even thought about blood and bones in so long because it's just like long ago, people talked about organs and bones, like, you know. So after it's all over and they kill us, they don't know about me. So the children, they just like dehydrate and disappear. And the Grim Reaper comes to collect their souls, and we have a conversation about how the we have a talk about predators and not to hate the bad guy. And we learned that the good guy and the bad guy are the same guy. And that the trouble we get into is that intelligent species are getting gobbled up, essentially. So who comes first in the hierarchy, those kind of conversations. And it's really scary. And there's another really scary part too, because the tooth, okay, this one guy, one part of the movie, he gets backhanded. And so you can read this for free on my Buy Me a Coffee. That's what I was showing you. There's two things in the shop. One, you can get the ticket, $40 Canadian. And then another one is for Lushing. You can read that. And there's an FYI. So there's one of the Lushers has a tooth, and it comes out very elongated, triangular shaped, and it's like a needle point at the end. And the tooth is in charge. The tooth is sentient. The tooth is in control. And the tooth basically makes the guy open his mouth and lift his chin forward. and he penetrates Sophia with it. And what's interesting is there's no blood or anything, but there's some kind of spider biological hybrid technology going on, because real spiders, I don't know all spiders, but there are spiders out there in this real waking 3D world that we live in, where when they penetrate their prey, there's a chemical reaction and the insides basically dissolve. And then the spider drinks it like a milkshake. And it's just the exoskeleton that's left. And so that happens in the movie. And so it was really challenging to capture this in a short mini movie. And this is all based on my real life, real dreams, half remembered, half misunderstood. And I'm really excited to share it with you. And then the second movie that Michael and I just wrapped up is basically the story where I have interesting dreams. I meet the Gnome King. I find the gemstones at the beach. I start doing gemstone readings. People give me a hard time. And then, people like Julia step in as a monitor, which really helped the troll situation. There was a point last year where I couldn't even go on live without somebody being like, "You're stupid, you suck, F you," or whatever it was. Like, there was like no chance.
You know what I noticed? Like, I think it's like when we do like the vertical like this, like on YouTube, like I think what it does is like the regular ways, like sideways, like we are, but like I noticed you did the vertical too. I think it gets more people, but it gets like weird people from the algorithm. So I stopped doing the vertical. Like, I know it gets more people, but I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it attracts like, because I've had weird experiences with that too. I don't know if that's it for sure. I mean, but YouTube's just weird in general. People are just like strange. It's a strange platform.
It's true. It's this was before the vertical, for what it's worth. And Jason, Missing Time 420, and I were having a conversation about that. Because Jason's one of our Dragon monitors, and we were wondering if we should do the vertical thing or not. So I'm still experimenting with that. But for what it's worth, like the energy that Julia Anchorhaven has, at least combined with my energy, was able to non-verbally send a force field out there because it's significantly stopped. Like I still get the odd troll, but it's more annoying. It's not a big deal. But there was, so anyways, that's part of the movie, the mini movie, where it's like, yay, I get help. And then those of you not familiar with me, I host my own show now, Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength. So I go live Tuesdays, and that's part of the mini movie too. And then the movie ends with like me and Michael making movies. And it's like, okay, this is in full effect now. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, and what I was going to ask you was that, see, because we have a bit of time. Like, take us through your journey of becoming the energetic medicine, like healer. Like that sounds so interesting. I know you were excited about it last summer. Like when we went on that trip, you were talking about that you were going to do it, and like, so take us through the process of that and like what it was. Was it harder to learn? Like, because like for me, for example, like, I wanted to learn tarot, you know what I mean? And I took Matthew Morning's course, and like, I have, for whatever reason, like at my age now, it's harder for me to like retain information. I don't know why, but it just is. Like, and I know you're like you're younger than me, but a little bit like, like, did you find it hard to retain information, or was it just easy? And then like, how did everything go? Like, taking us on.
So I was born in 81, so I'm only a year younger than you, Rob. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? Well, you can, but we don't learn like the puppies do. And as you get older, it gets harder. So if you want to do anything, it's like a martial arts. You need to commit to doing it every day. And energy medicine is just that. Like, people don't realize, but if I'm not servicing clients, I'm still very much doing my own homework behind the scenes, in tune with the moon cycles, in tune making my flora, my spirit water, making sure that I'm keeping up with my own journaling, So the way things start are the way things end. And the way my shamanic training ended was actually learning about oracle and connecting with stone people, plant people. So that was very powerful. And there's actually, it's called Advanced Masters Energy Medicine. And I'd like to take that, but I'm hopeful to take that this fall. Because I'm also learning controlled remote viewing behind the scenes, and that's a lot of commitment too. So I really like to learn. But just to go back to your question, yeah, last summer, I like the summer before last summer, I basically became homeless and I had to live with my sister, and it was a really challenging time in my life. So now, fast forward to last summer, I cashed in my pension, and I still have feelings like I'm going to die every now and then. And I thought, okay, after all this crap that I've been through, I'm going to go to Florida and go to the beach, do a presentation, hang out with the full disclosure community, and take life on, right? Live like tomorrow is never promised. And knowing that it's always hardest for those who are last. Those kind of themes were resonating. So I ended up taking the energy medicine course because I thought, you know what, I want to know more about things like ghost and spirits and evil spirits and intrusive entities and this business of cord cutting and energy medicine. It's really serious. You can hurt somebody. So you want to make sure you know what you're doing and that you have the right intention. And those are all the reasons why I wanted to take it. And I've always had a connection since childhood with Alberto. So basically, it was a matter of me biting the bullet and taking it. I did, and it was the best thing ever. And what it was like, well, it was hell, to be honest. So you go through the medicine wheel. You start in the south with Snake. And like all of my colleagues, all of us went through hell. So finally, Snake is over. Then we move on to Jaguar. Well, Jaguar was hell too. Snake, you loosen and let go. Learn to walk more lightly. Ask to be taught the beauty way. Okay, Jaguar is about transformation, maps, and shadow work. So once you get through the Jaguar, you move on to Hummingbird. Hummingbird's all about high quality items. Well, you know what? I think Hummingbird was the hardest, challenging one to get through. Then we had to go to Eagle Condor. So now we're like Quetzalcoatl because we're all the animals together now. Then we had to connect with Pachamama, Mother Earth, and then Father Sun, Grandmother Moon, and the Star Nations. Throughout my training, there were different rites of passage and ceremony, special bands of protection that were given to me, and special blessings. And it's that very rite of passage and ceremony that was missing from my life that I really was able to get. So, and I learned things too. I mean, it's all based on belief and what works for you ultimately. But when it came to extracting intrusive entities, I use my crystal. It's pointed on both ends. And as soon as I finish extracting an intrusive entity, I basically do a little process where I release the entity because it doesn't stay trapped in my crystal. And there is no exact time frame how long it can stay in there. It's more like being caught in a maze, not so much being trapped in a cage. And I don't want that intrusive entity in my home. And I don't want it. It could make me sick. And so it was a reality check about safe extractions. And that's something I never thought about before. And I'm just kind of going off now because I'm passionate about it today.
Have you ever had a problem where it wasn't a safe extraction and you had to deal with it, or like did it go right most of the time?
So, yeah, most of the time it goes right. It's totally not like in the movie. So, if you come and see me for a safe extraction, your head's not going to be spinning around. You're not going to do backwards cartwheels. So, that might disappoint some of you. But, like, it's a really beautiful process because there's a reason it's there. And usually it's there because you were vulnerable and your energetic level allowed it in. So, it went in. But the problem is, as long as it's energetically there, it is feeding off of your energy field, no different than a parasite. So every breath you take, every step you take, it's being hindered. And until that intrusive entity is extracted, you will continue to have whatever ailments you have. And I've come to learn, even with my hypnotherapy, if for some reason it's not working, I have a belief now you have an intrusive entity. So when I see a client, I always test for intrusive entities. We take care of that. Then let's talk mind reprogramming because, and there's beautiful stories where people don't even know they're dead and they're scared and they don't know what to do and they cling to you. And then that's part of the extraction. Or sometimes somebody had a message that they needed to send to you. So they just clung to you until you realized that they were clung to you. And then they share the message and they leave. A lot of times intrusive entities will just leave on their own. But they need help from somebody like me to help get them to the next level, if you will. And sometimes intrusive entities are very kind, but they'll tell you, no, I'm not leaving. And it's like, what? Excuse me? And they're like, no, I have the right to live. I have the right to be here. For whatever reasons, I'm here and I'm staying here. And it's like, you know what? You need to go. So I move through with the extraction and I always test to make sure they're gone. If they're not gone, then I call on Jaguar. I've never had to do that, but my colleagues had to do that with me. So when I was doing my training, like, you know, step 1, step 2, step 3, you make your way through your homework. And I've got case studies that I need to submit and I'm going through my homework and through the motions. But then I got to this point where I was stagnant. I couldn't move forward with my homework because my colleagues were still extracting intrusive entities from me. And it's like, well, when am I going to get to the soul retrieval? So even something like soul retrieval, I didn't know this, but you can't just book an appointment with me and do soul retrieval. It doesn't work like that. You could, but you're probably going to be very disappointed when I tell you that your soul's not coming back. You need to do some work first, like extraction of intrusive entities. Maybe there's cord cutting that needs to be done. And once we wrap up that stuff, then you can engage in the soul retrieval. And for what it's worth, a lot of people who engage in soul retrieval, including myself and Alberto Villaldo, who's very open about it, we had to go back to the shaman multiple times because the part of us that jumped away, that is in the lower levels with Huascar, the underworld, they're more than happy to stay there. They're not interested in coming back. They have the power to come back if they wanted to. So when I journey to the underworld, I journey on your behalf and I ask your soul, that piece that's missing, let's come back, let's talk. Sometimes there's some negotiation. Sometimes the soul will come back, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay. So it's a very delicate process where you need to be doing your homework and the integration part that follows 21 days after. Some people say 28 days, but at least 21 days in my opinion, because I know that's how hypnotherapy works. You want your soul to stick around. So you have the opportunity to prove yourself that you're going to do what you're doing or whatever it is. And it's a beautiful thing. And once you have intrusive entities extracted, you might come see me next time and I find more intrusive entities. And then you might be upset about this and be like, well, Gina, how come you didn't get them last time? That's how it works, because every time you extract intrusive entities or clear any energy, it's kind of like weeding the garden and taking down big, tall trees. And now little trees that were growing in the shade all of a sudden have this big chance, or like intrusive entities can bully other intrusive entities. So now finally that big bully's out of the way. The other ones can shine their light. So it just, and even during the soul retrieval process, I might come across an intrusive entity in the underworld that you, the client, might have no idea about. And then I just deal with that on the spot. And yes, it's true. There's entities within entities. So it's very important. Like when I clear your chakras, I'm not just kind of like cleaning you out. I'm clearing the whole entire energy field. It's called affinities. So it's kind of like if I were to put you in the ocean and put some like pink food coloring around you, you would see all the pink, right? Yeah. Well, I can clear that pink, but it's still floating around in the ocean. So when you see an energy medicine practitioner, at least someone with my training from the Four Winds, it's like we clear the whole ocean of that color pink, and then we send the color pink off. So it's not even in your energy field, but you still have lots of crap in your energy field that we need to go back and remove. And I didn't realize this until I did my training. I realized it, but it was reinforced with my training. When you do energy medicine, some people might not really feel like you're doing anything, and that's fine. I could treat a different client the exact same way, and energetically they would have a completely like different reaction to it. And so the rule of thumb is when you're doing energy medicine to keep it to about, half an hour and a half, somewhere in there. I do 45-minute sessions because even though you're feeling good and like you could do more, it actually isn't effective. So you want to increase the quality of the medicine that you're providing. That's where I'm at. And I used to offer 3-4 hour hypnotherapy sessions. And I realize now I did good because I was listening to the clients and providing them with what they wanted. But I realize now that I was actually slipping into talk therapy. I don't do talk therapy. When you come and see me, I clear whatever it is and we get busy with mind reprogramming. So there's always lots to say. I haven't talked to you in a while. So yeah.
And then do you want to talk a little bit about this Project 30, the ISIS Unity Consciousness? That sounds really interesting as well.
Yeah, so Project 30, ISIS Unity Consciousness, that's part of my dream life. So throughout my book series, and I still have lots more to publish, the dream journals are there and the downloads keep coming. I basically have like a military life in one of my dream lives. And I work with scientists and they keep coming to me because I'm a very simple person. So they're too smart for their own good. So just to kind of simplify things here, Project 30 is a bunch of misfits coming together. The good guy, the bad guy, and they're turning to each other and they're putting their differences aside and they're saying, let's work together. It honestly doesn't even matter if we like each other or what beliefs you have. We need to make change. So Project 30 is all of my content, bridging together my Dragon Dreams Oracle, the book series, me being on this show right now, and casting out this message for the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective so they know about Project 30. And Project 30 is me and others, 29 others. It's like an executive committee. We focus on the story medicine. We offer things like conferences. We promote each other's work, like gemstone readings. And it's like this business of like Project 30. That's a military language that I wasn't even aware of, like Project Blue Books, Project Stargate. Like I called it Project 30 because when I was a teacher, I would use that language project. Like I used to say math is literacy, literacy is math, math is geography, everything is everything. And then I just started calling it project. So that's where Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness came from. And then the Isis part is because the Egyptian goddess Isis and her connection to me in my book series. And there's a beautiful story about the Purple King and just different realities, dimensions, all of these dream lives coming together. And so like my conference that I'm hosting this Saturday is part of Project 30. Project 30 is the umbrella term. Yeah. And I see Matthew there in the chat. So I go and see Matthew once a month for energy work, and I just love it. You know, I love it. And earlier when you were talking about tarot cards, whatever you're interested in, your mind will default to having a better memory. And you know what? If you don't use it, you'll lose it, just like any language. So whatever you're interested in, dive into it and just focus on that till you really master it, and then try something else, you know, or have cheat sheets. You know, even though I created the Dragon Dreams Oracle, sometimes I'm like, what did I mean by this card? And I check my little booklet.
Yeah, this is awesome. Well, yeah, did you want to show off show your Oracle cards, and did you want to do a couple readings if anybody wants one in the chat?
Yeah, I think if you want, I can do like I can just pull random cards for people, or the gemstone readings take a bit longer. So, and the gemstone readings, just so you know, I don't do them like I used to. The only reason I'm doing them right now is in celebration of the upcoming conference. So what do you want me to do? Just
I thought you wanted to show up your Oracle cards. That's why.
Yeah, I can do that. So
do Oracle. That's fine. Yeah, that's I mean, or yeah, that'd be cool. If anybody, I mean, I'll take a card. You know, you can pull a card for me.
Yeah. So let me just get my flora here.
When did you finish the Oracle deck? Was it recently?
Just before Christmas. So I did it on December 22nd was the official day I published it, which was interesting because I was aiming to do it before winter, which is December 21st. That marks the season of dreams. And I felt disappointed that it ended up being on the 22nd. And then I was like, no, because this needed to be published the first day officially in Season of Dreams, not the 21st where it's transitioning. In Gino world, it all made sense. So, okay. So Rob, you want a card? Let me know in the chat if you want one. I'm just going to pull at random here.
SW Rob was.
Okay, so this is coming from the Feminine Fire. This one is for Rob. Oh, I should take off my my background so you can see the cards better. But you got 10,000 hours of what? So this card, I'll show you in a minute there, just taking off my background. This card is about basically, you know, you go to school, kindergarten to grade 12, and then what? Like, what have you really learned? You've sat in a classroom. You've learned to sit in rows. You learned to sit down, be quiet, and listen to what somebody else says. Okay, there. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, that looks good.
So what have you really mastered? So this card is asking you, Rob, like, what have you really mastered? So one side talks about the left brain, one side talks about the right brain, and just basically making a point that in public education, the arts always get cut. And really, in truth, the arts is where we get inspired, right? So, and I always add these back. So somebody else might get this card and it may or may not come from the Feminine Fire. I don't know.
Wow. That was good. No, that's cool. I love it. Okay, this one's from SW Rob. He says, I want one too. And
okay, SW Rob. Okay, just clearing Rob. Okay, the feminine, the earth, the air. My hand's slippery. Let me just get it here. This one here. Righty tighty. So, SW Rob, today's a good day for you to righty tighty things up. If there's something that you've been doing, make it more official, tighten it up. The new moon is coming. So whatever seeds, keys, dreams that you have, this is the time to tighten it up. If there's something going on in your life where you're like, no, I don't want to tighten that up, be mindful then about your behavior, because you might be tightening something up that you don't want to tighten up. But the vibe I get is that there's something that needs to be tightened up. So this is some dragon scales, but the scales are heart-shaped. And it's got the moon pictures in there with hummingbird on top. And ultimately, it's whatever the cards say to you, whatever they communicate to you. So that was fun. It's fun to pull cards and not do like a whole big showdown, you know? So
Absolutely.
anyone else want one?
Yeah, we got where we got Sil. Sil says, I'll take a card, please.
All right. Okay. And mass feminine fire. Failure to fill. So this card is representing not to kid yourself. So I used to be a public school teacher, and when people say things like there's a teacher shortage, no, there is not. There's actually a lot of teachers. There's a failure to fill. So there's something going on in your life right now where somebody's trying to convince you that something else is going on. Meanwhile, there's a lack of accountability. So tell it like it is. Shine the light where it needs to be shone. And you know what? Authenticity always shines. So this is always a good card to get.
Well,
investing in the truth to better the alchemy.
What is that process you do? That's interesting. Like that's is that clearing the space or something like that? Like
my flora?
Yeah.
So this here, I used to do this before my shamanic training to open and close sacred space, but now I do it to like clear the energy and invite the energy in. So when I did like Rob's, it cleared the energy, which it should have already been cleared, but we clean slate, thinking about Rob, pull the card, and then I spritz it again to now clear Rob and next person. So, and this is made with vodka and then local plants. And I don't drink it. I always spritz it out. And they're always a little bit different. And depending on what mood I'm in or what I'm sensing, I might use a designated flora. This one
That's interesting. Yeah. And what's the flora? What is that like a what is it's interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically vodka, and then you put plants in there. You can add essential oil, but you don't just throw it together. You add a bit of plants, put some vodka, say some prayers, blow into the flowers, connecting it with your breath. Then I let it sit for a good 2 or 3 nights. A lot of folks let it sit for like a month, but I find that it gets too planty tasting. And some people add lots of essential oils in there to help with that. But mine are pretty plain. My favorite is basil and vodka. So I'm looking forward to making that this summer. Yeah. Yeah. And they're always a little bit different. And then I decorate them a little bit different each time. And these are from like my dream scarf. Although it's all special the way it came together. So, okay. Anchor Haven wants one. All right. And this one's coming from the feminine earth. Alchemical building blocks. So the elementals, forms, phases, and stages, epigenetics matters. How you think and feel matter. So, Julia, you're being reminded that you can't control the environment around you, right? You can't control traffic or other people's moods. But this card also reminds you that you're part of somebody else's epigenetics. So other people can't control, like, what mood you're in. But these epigenetics, when we start clashing with them, can allude to the fact that we need to shift our circle of friends, or that there's going to be some shifts going on, which I know you're going through lots of shifts. And so this card here is really appropriate because your life is alchemizing at an all-time rate right now. I gave Julia a public gemstone reading not too long ago, and sea turtle energy was very high for Julia. So epigenetics matters. Don't let those crabs get in the way, right? Because when you're done your journey, Julia is going to be gobbling up the crabs.
The next person is Tiffany. Tiffany says, "May I please have a card as well?"
Yeah. Okay, Tiffany. And the masculine wants in on this one. Masculine, and my thumb wants to choose. So masculine, free will, and it also represents like this planet Earth. Social emotional learning is a priority. So social emotional learning, making time and space for your feelings. So when I was a public school teacher, I was a minority voice prioritizing social emotional learning. And that got confused with having like a lowering of expectations. No. We're not lowering expectations. We're recognizing that people aren't robots. We're recognizing that people come to school full of baggage, and we can't just expect them to come in the classroom and be in like learning readiness mode, right? So you're being reminded, Tiffany, that like at school, at the library, at the restaurant, in your home, every single place you go, epigenetics matters. How you think and feel, labeling your emotions, understanding them, reflecting on them, all of these things matter. And like when we were kids, this kind of stuff was so made fun of, but who's laughing now? Emotions are where it's at. And so if you feel like for a second, like you're being hard on yourself, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't be such a baby because you're thinking and feeling these things, like, do not dismiss it. How you think and feel matters. Put the social emotional first. If that means having a coffee so you can calm down and then have your meeting, then that's what you need to do. So all of these cards are very powerful. And there's an emphasis that social emotional learning starts at home. So the children that you raise, the people that you're around, each card, there's a lot to say about it. The whole person, not just one part of the person. Mind, body, spirit, conscious evolution, being open, authentic, thankful, honoring holy instances. It was really challenging to just come up with a little paragraph per card.
And I thought he was joking, but I guess he really does want a reading. So like, sorry, man, I didn't mean to skip you. But like, yeah.
All right, Matthew, what's coming up for Matthew? The feminine water. White rabbit, ripples of change, breaching, converging with folks. So Matthew, if you're feeling turmoil, emotional, physical, financial, any kind of turmoil, that's the dog monkey folk. The dog monkey folk, they look like gargoyles, but they're not gargoyles. They're part of a whole ecosystem. They might freak you out because they don't understand boundaries. They mean well, like they might be watching you through your window. It's kind of freaky, right? So you have to set boundaries with them and let them know that stuff. They help with lots of things, in particular, the present moment. So if you're feeling stuck, they'll literally come around you and start jumping and literally start moving the energy for you. This might feel like it's too much. If it is, let them know. Maybe you want to literally jump up and down with them to transform and transcend whatever you're doing. And working with moon cycles, the new moon is upon us. So ripples of change, like the thing is like if I were to throw a stone in the water, like if you were that stone, Matthew, you would vibrate out and create a ripple, right? But if I tossed you and a bunch of stones into the water, you would all have your own ripples, but at some point, all your ripples would converge and create one ripple. So there's duality here. You're being reminded, like, jump up and down for yourself, for your own process and alchemy, but also know that you're a puzzle piece, part of a greater whole. So turbulence is at hand. Lots of it. Yeah, and I'm glad that you got a reading. Glad that Matthew got one.
Next one is where few dare to tread 100. He says, can I get a reading?
All right. Where few dare to tread 100.
I'm trying to figure out what that picture is. What is that? It's like a statue in like a barn, like a miniature barn or something. What the hell is that? That's weird. I mean, it's interesting. It's like weird. I'm like, what the, you know.
This came from the masculine air. This is Jaguar. This is a power card. All the cards are powerful, but there's a handful of power cards in here. Knowing that the new moon is approaching, if there's something that you need to transform, metaphorically bury it in the ground. If you want to physically write a letter or something like that and bury it in the ground, or maybe you want to blow it into plants, grass, and release it, metaphoric of releasing this. This would be the ideal time for you to do that. You are standing right at the foot of the rainbow bridge, but the thing is, only you can cross that rainbow bridge. You can hold Jaguar's hand. You can even ride on Jaguar's back, sit on Jaguar's head. But once you get to the rainbow bridge, you're on your own. So it's like you're standing there. Why aren't you crossing? Because something, I don't know. You work with this moon cycle. Let whatever it is go. See the womb as the womb and tomb. They're one and the same. So with this new moon, let whatever die, die. Leave that snake skin behind. I repeat, leave the damn snake skin behind, okay? Cross the rainbow bridge. Jaguar is with you, but Jaguar can't spook you to cross, you know? And Hummingbird is waiting on the other side. So look for Hummingbird if you're feeling lost. Trust the process and cross the bridge. This is a good card to get. And it says tracking. Because Jaguar, there's female and male themes going on here, but the tracking, like, that's the masculine Jaguar energy and finding new roadmaps. So I hope that resonates with you.
This is amazing. Finish up here. I mean, did you want to leave some final words before we finish up, Gina? And thanks for doing this. This was awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was fun to do that. Fun to pull some cards. I always delight in that. I'm always looking for people to host me on their show to help spread the word about ISIS, Project 30 ISIS Unity Consciousness, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. We're your soul tribe. We get you. So come hang out with us. We await you. And we've always got lots to look forward to. Every Tuesday I go live. Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength. And Wednesdays I go live. If anybody wants to host me, that would be ideal on Wednesdays. And if I don't have anybody hosting me, then I just promote and hang out. So come hang out with us. Get a ticket for this Saturday, Summer Days. Witness Dragon Medicine Bearers like Julia Anchorhaven, who's here monitoring. She hosts her own show support. She's going to be live presenting on Saturday. And it's going to be her first time presenting in a formal setting with a conference. And it was real hell for a lot of the Dragon presenters to get their presentations together. You can buy the replay after the conference. But if you're around to hang out with us live, that would be really ideal. And you get to see my first 2 mini movies released. And I would also adore for you to get in on opening and closing Sacred Space with us, journeying to the Pine Tree Forest. And if you're interested in any of my services, I would adore if you registered for that. And it's just a matter of time, actually, where I won't be offering those services anymore, because as a energy exchange, I've been providing my services to the dragon presenters. And that's all part of the prediction in my book series, is that I kind of fade away as an administrator and working with the gemstone readings. So there's always much to say, and I'm always looking for anybody out there who wants to get in and help. That's part of the prediction too, and it's already starting. Like I asked Laura Ferguson, Starseed Lolo, to help me out with her music. She said yes, but now without me asking her, she's creating Canva images, just because the desire is there. Michael's helping me create this movie. The desire is there. Jason is getting in on it, so get in on it too. We await you.
Awesome.
So
well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I will see you guys later on today. And thank you, Gina. And have a good day, everyone.
Great to be here.